My name is Tariq Usmani. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Henley Homes PLC and also the Chair of the Better Community Business Network, which is our charitable arm. It was more a case of what would I do once I finished at school, and I kind of didn't have any particular direction at the time. I was very interested in the perfection of property and having spending time on something that when you finished people would be proud to see, and I think it's really looking at the sort of the final finished product that really sort of motivated me to go towards a property direction. Future, I think that is a mix between business and doing my best to look after the interests of the Muslim community, whether that is through political engagement, whether that is through our charitable efforts, whether it's through a form of dawah which we express by the way that we are and the way that we act, by our actions, as opposed to just talking about it. Whichever way it is, that I would say that business probably occupies about 50% of my mind, whereas charity at this moment in time probably occupies the other 50%, and somewhere in between that is my family.
Okay.
The charitable work that we do, I think that back in around 2010, when things were very difficult, I kind of understood the value of charity at a time when you were unable to do anything, really even unable to do much for yourself. And I looked at it as an opportunity that when things are very difficult, that's when we should be doing it, because the reward when things are difficult has got to be far greater than when things were easy. So that sort of urged us to set up a charity which is called the Better Community Business Network. What we do, rather than going into the marketplace and trying to compete for funds, I mean, we're totally self-funding. The trustees fund every single penny, so we have no overheads that are charged out to the monies that we raise, and that's a founding principle of ours. And I think that what we tend to do is not compete with other charities, but instead of competing with them, what we tend to do is support them in the good work that they do. It's a lot easier for us to do that. We're part of a business fraternity. It's the business fraternity, the professionals that have access to money. They have responsibility. They have control. They have power. They've got authority, and they're the people that can actually make things happen. So the whole concept behind it is that we get our Muslim community to sort of meet. We have an annual event, but we have a number of other events that happen during the course of the year, smaller projects that we will work on. Through that business networking and the conduct of business, we then, on the same evening, raise money for our charitable event, which would be whichever charity that we've chosen to support at that moment in time. It's easier for us to do that. It's in certain ways, people may say it's cheating because we don't actually get absorbed deeply involved in the issues that they're dealing with. What we do is we just support them by raising money through our network of people that we know. So that is probably the simplest way of describing it.
Okay.
We have our Islamic principles that we will adhere to, but beyond that, we're not here to preach to people as to how you should do things or what you should do, whether you should pray or not pray. I think all the information and evidence is out there, and we don't use this as a platform for doing so. In the past, we've raised money, just over £200,000 for the West London Islamic Centre. We've raised about £180,000 for Muslim Youth Helpline. We've raised £41,000 or so for the domestic violence unit at St Thomas's Hospital. So anything that we believe is going to deliver benefit to the Muslim community and to the wider community also, because obviously we as a community do not live in a different orbit or in a separate bubble. Whatever happens in the wider community affects us. Whatever happens in the Muslim community affects the wider community. So this is not an exclusive type of organisation. We're Muslim-led, but we're not exclusive. So anybody that understands our ideals, anybody that understands the value of charity is welcome.